Turbo Conquering Mega Eagle! Alright folks, how you doing? Okay, so we just did a video on this sandblasting attachment for a pressure washer. Yeah? So this is something I picked up off eBay for £7, which is what, $10 or you know, €100 with their problems. That's political. Only messing. Okay, so what this basically is a stainless steel pipe. It's got a little ceramic nozzle. You know, all the top quality materials for a £7 tool. It's got a fitting on the end there which allows it to plug into pretty much any small domestic pressure washer I've ever seen. We've got a nice long pickup hose. I have no idea how long that is. And how long is it? Let's find out, chaps. Guess in the comment below. 4 inches, 2 meters, or 5 miles. I reckon it's around 6 foot. Yeah. Okay. Right. So and a little pickety picker up, I think there. Yeah. I couldn't see spare nozzles for this, and having operated a couple of little sandblasters in the past, nozzles do wear eventually. They also get blocked up. There's 101 things that can go wrong. The biggest problem with air-fed blasters is actually moisture. I'm really interested. This is not a process. I've seen other people do it, but using water to pull the grit out of your bag, I'm just full of wonder and of the possibilities. So what we're going to try and sandblast is a old bicycle frame of mine. I have a terrible habit of just picking bikes up that are by the side of the road. I have no idea. I can't remember where this one came from. This is a old Diamondback. Yeah. I remember the brand from the 90s. I can't remember if they're any good. This is a Taiwanese built frame. And you know, they've always turned out pretty good bikes. It's actually a really nice frame. The welds are beautiful and neat and tidy. A little bit of an undercut on that one there. That's probably the worst one to show you. A bit tidier up here. You know, very nice for an old 90s steel mountain bike frame. We've got a integral derailleur hanger, which is nice, so we can put pretty much anything we want in there. Nice bit of a curvature to the hindquarters. So yeah, I just want to, you know, get this painted up and have another pub bike, I suppose, and if it gets in the way I'll flog it, and it'll actually sell unlike a rusty mountain bike frame from the 90s, which, you know, they don't really sell, which is why you see them on the side of the road, which I have a problem. I just can't stand the thought of a bicycle going to the scrap man, and it breaks my little heart every time I see the scrap man's van full of you know, a whole family's worth of bicycles. I don't know why I find it so upsetting. I think it's you know, like when I was a kid, bicycles were such a big deal to me, and you know, still I love my bikes. Yeah, it just what, it upsets me. So what? Yeah, let's have a go with this sandblaster. I have a friend that actually has a sandblasting company. He does sandblast and powder coating. Blast Off is the name of the company. Pretty cool name. in the Lincolnshire area. They're most helpful chaps, and they do a bit of welding and stuff. A customer of mine wanted his motorcycle sidecar restored, and he asked me. I said, no mate, you know, I've got too many things going on. I said, you know, at least for the blasting, go to these guys. They did the blasting, and then they, you know, brazing to this thing. I can't remember it wasn't a Watsonian sidecar, but it was a, you know, proper old vintage sidecar, and it was just rotten to buggery. And the work they did on it was truly amazing. And they did the powder coating as well, and spray painting. So pretty much anything short of a full-on classic car restoration they can take care of. And he sells the grit as well. So. I mean, this I actually got for my vibratory tumbler project. We got a bag of glass bead here. This is fine glass bead. Probably just looks like sand from a distance. And another bag of fine garnet. Yeah. So I haven't got all the mediums here. Crushed glass is very cheap. I haven't got any crushed glass. This is garnet. This is also quite cheap. The glass bead's quite expensive. That's really just used for finishing off. The garnet is oh, got a little lump. Oh no, that's slate. The garnet is a waste product from the steel industry. Slag. And that's normally used for the first cut or heavy removal, and the glass bead used for, you know, leaving a nicer, flatter finish. So this is going to be interesting because we've got stickers and stuff, and stickers like being, you know, plasticky, quite rubbery. When I've sent stuff to get blasted, if I've got areas I want to protect, that's what this is, you know, generally the sort of thing I'll use to protect an area. If I send cylinders to get blasted, then I've got some rubber backed wooden plugs specifically that are made up for Lycoming and Continental cylinders, so they can get bolted on the ports, so the ports don't get eroded and the grit doesn't get into the, you know, valve stems and things like that. And rubber's pretty much sandblasting proof, you know. I suppose it just bounces straight off, so it'll be a good test. I reckon the garnet will probably take the stickers off, but I don't want to waste too much, so we'll have a go, try and take the stickers off and the rest of the paint with the garnet. I might have to strip the stickers off and come back to it, but it'd be great if it just took the stickers off, because I hate peeling stickers off. It's a bit of a bastard, isn't it? And we'll get this frame not spot blasted, grip blasted. Alright, let's go. Okay, so I've got a couple of bits of wood lined up for blasting on. I'm going to try and collect some of what gets used. I'm using that tiny little Karcher pressure washer, so it's like this, you know, about the smallest Karcher you can buy. I've got eye pro on, so I don't get 500-mile-an-hour grit in my face, and waterproofs. Yeah. Alright, let's give this a whirl and see what happens. Okay, so hang on, where are we at? Yeah, it's taking the stickers off, which is great. I hate taking stickers off, but it's leaving a pretty harsh finish on the frame. So I'm actually going to try the glass bead. I'm also getting the gun clogging up a bit, so maybe with the glass bead it'll be a bit different. It's quite a fine glass bead though, so it's not going to be fast whatever happens. The RF in a little Tucano. Hey, someone's having fun at my bloody expense. Okay, so where am I at? Jesus, we're all zoomed in still. Oh, sorry lads. So the brass bead is certainly feeding through the gun a lot nicer. Yeah, and it does take the stickers off, just about gets through the lacquer, cleans up the bare metal, cleans the rust off the bare metal, but we're using it way too fast. You know, this is definitely something for finishing rather than doing the bulk of the work, so we'll go back to the garnet. Just have to try and find a way of stopping it clogging the gun up. Okay, I found the winning combination to getting garnet to work in this gun is a 25 litre tub and a vibratory motor strapped to the side of it. What I think's happening is the garnet's really irregular, and it's just locking together, you know. And the air isn't enough to pull it. So either way, with the it's not actually blocking the gun up, which is great. But what? Yeah, that seems to get it flowing quite nicely. And the garnet's doing a great job of cleaning the frame off. It is leaving a bit of a rough finish, but we'll go over it with a bead afterwards and try and get it nice. Quite noisy though. Okay, having said that we're getting no blockages, I've got a load of blockages. It's not the fault of the gun, it's because I contaminated this media. Anyway, yeah, I contaminated this media when I was using it for the rotary tumbler. I put some, you know, smashed up slate in there to see if that made any difference, and that is causing me problems. Either way, if you do get a blockage one of these things, you clear it in much the same way as you clear any other blockage in any other sandblaster, except that you have to take the plastic off the pickup line off. Yeah? It will blow water back down the pipe, unfortunately. Either way, we just pull that off. So you want to stick the gun against something that you don't care about, and we use the water pressure to just blast everything back out the gun. Coming out clear, we can just check it, see if we get a vacuum. Still not quite cleared it. Cleared the blockage. Otherwise you've got to take the gun apart, and that's a bit of a ball ache. You need tools for that, but you don't have to take the gun apart to clear the blockage at all. Okay, so I've created a few problems here with using contaminated grit, contaminated with stuff that's too big to go through the nozzle, and then once you do that and it blocks up, it shoots water back into the grit, and now it's just all clagging up. I've got about halfway through this frame, you know, one side's pretty much done, and I would say if it didn't get blocked up at all, that would have been less than 5 minutes work. It's very effective. You know, you've got it far exceeds the capabilities of any of the smaller DIY type grip blasters. And the thing with using air with your grip blasters, you need some real grunt in your compressor. Yeah, so we used to have a 6 horse, they're 2-3 horsepower motors, or no, I think they're 2-3,000 watt motors, so that's 7 or 8 horse. Hang on, batteries just about to die. Yeah, so the 6 horse compressor we had would would keep the cabinet going, but the compressor would be running all the time. So you can see that that's using the full 6 horsepower. Yeah? If you've got an excess compressor power, then the compressor will shut off, and you know, you'll be able to work off the tank for a bit. But no, this is keeping the compressor running all the time. So and the gun in that cabinet was absolutely nothing compared to the sort of power I'm getting out of this thing. So it's, you know, using water as opposed to air is far more efficient in terms of his wattage. Like that, my little compressor, my little power washer is like 600 watts versus 6,000 watts, you know, and it's doing a better job. And the sort of compressors they use, like, you know, my mate's got over at his blast off plate, they're like 10-20 horsepower compressors, you know, big 3-phase jobbies, isn't it? Like, you do need a lot of power if you're going to use air, and I'm very excited about this because it's you know, far exceeding my expectations basically. So I'm gonna, rather than try and dry my grit out, which is contaminated, I'm gonna, you know, hopefully at some point pick up some different grit, and as far as you'll know, it'll be in a couple of minutes time, won't it, hey? Back when I get some grit. Bye bye. Okay, so I got back from blast off, and got 5 bags of crushed glass. This is basically the cheapest option for doing any sort of blasting, I think. I got 2 bags of coarse, and he didn't think it would be too good in my gun, but you know, there's still a lot finer than the garnet that I've managed to get through the gun, and a few bags of medium fine. So let's have a go with the coarse, I suppose, see how that does, and then once we've got the worst of the paint off, if the finish isn't great, we'll go down to the medium fine, and if that's still a little rough, we can quickly hit it with the glass bead. I'd like to try and avoid that, because apparently that's beautiful on aluminium. I've got a couple of alley frames that I wouldn't mind polishing up, because, you know, just be a fun thing to do, wouldn't it? So yeah, let's get some coarse. Well, I don't think it is even coarse. I think that's medium, and the other one's medium fine. Yeah, let's get that loaded up and see what happens. We got excellent results with this thing. It's flashing over rust before I can get to the other end of the frame, you know. So I'm just gonna get the worst of the moisture off right now. I've literally just finished. Excellent. This opens up a lot of new possibilities. I mean, it's not. The thing for me is, if I take stuff to get blasted, I generally these days only do it if it's something like pretty special to me, I suppose, or if it's paying work. So, you know, I'll always try and get engine frames on aircraft blasted and powder coated. I see it as a tremendous investment. Right, it'll make the piece last a lot longer, and you know, it just keeps things a lot cleaner. If you've like engine frame paint, is always ends up going nasty and peeling. So the epoxy powder coat just lasts a lot longer. And you know, if you've got good finish on something, you're far more likely to see any defects and that. So I'm not going to start doing things like that at home, but for things that I would have deemed not valuable enough to take and get blasted and perhaps powder coated, like a rusty old mountain bike frame from the 90s, absolutely this is brilliant. It's going to take anyone a bit of getting used to, even if they've done blasting before, which I have. Just because it's a bit different, and I suppose your pressure washer is gonna suck up the grit different to mine, unless you're using exactly the same pressure washer. But all in all, that is an exceedingly well spent £7 on that little tool. Admittedly, I've put 10 quid's worth of medium through it now, but the nozzle doesn't appear to be changing shape, which is great. And what? Yeah, crushed glass. If you haven't got a vibratory motor knocking around, then go with the medium fine sort of grit. If you can get some vibrations going on in your hopper or plastic barrel, as it was in my case, then yeah, even if it's just a kid kicking the side of the barrel, it'll probably work well enough. Eye protection, I had wraparound, like decent quality wraparound glasses on, and I still got a couple of bits of grit through my hair is absolutely full of it now, but I mean, that's just life, isn't it? Certainly if you're doing it without the water, you'd be in a far worse state if you were just grit blasting as opposed to water blasting. That's the proper term, apparently. The guys at the sandblasting place told me. Yeah, so I'm very happy. I'm going to get this frame hung over the fire and get it dried off quickly. It was going to flash. That's fine. A lot of people still use rust converters and that, and then put the paint on top of that. I'm more into my my etch primers these days, yeah, and I've got a nice epoxy 2-part etch primer, and that's really, I mean, you can put anything on top of that. The thing is, it likes bare metal, and what if you've got a rust conversion layer, generally spoils the adhesion of the epoxy a little bit. So what I'll do with this is stick it over the fire, get it hot. When it's hot, the thing to do with steel tube frame is get some linseed oil in it. Yeah, I'm sure there's other ways of doing it. It's just this is what I've always done because it's what the manuals say on the aircraft, because they're all from the 70s. Get some linseed oil in it whilst it's hot. Give it a good swish around. Like, don't go mad with it. Like, you just want like maybe a couple of teaspoons in a cross tube, in a crossbar, and just a tiny little dribble in the chain and C stays whilst it's hot, and that'll cook off really quickly. But you got to keep the frame spinning around, just to move it around a bit, hang it back up, get it hot again, and then where you've got excess coming out the holes and that, it's quite important to get rid of that before you prep for paint. And then with the paint prep, with a decent etch primer that doesn't ask for any conversion, like the easiest thing to do is just wire wool and thinners at the same time, pretty much. And that sounds weird, but it works pretty nicely. And by that point you've got rid of all the moisture. It won't flash over with rust before you can get your epoxy primer on it. But you want to be ready to paint. So I'll treat it like I would wiping down anything before paint. You mix the paint up, get that ready. You want to leave the paint sitting around for a little bit just to get yourself happy. You don't want to use paint that's been mixed up straight away. And then whilst that's sitting, go over this with thinners. And Scotch Brite's probably better, but I don't have Scotch Brite here, so I'm going to use what I will. Alright, okay, I hope it's been helpful, folks. And any of you, if you're not into bicycle frames, and everyone's got rusty crap kicking around, and that pressure washer, £7, like, going to be pretty hard to beat. Pressure washer, how much was that? I don't know, that's like a cheapest one I could find, because I was out on a job that needed a pressure washer. But this is a cart show, you can probably find one cheaper, or if you've already got one, then yeah, it's just £7, isn't it? Pretty good, and you can rescue all manner of things that, like this 90s bike frame, is absolutely priceless. Take it easy, folks. See you later. Bye bye. Okay, because I still haven't uploaded the sandblasting video. Hi guys, how you doing? I figured I'd give you a look at the bike just before I do. So I hit it with Hammerite, which is a sort of hardware shop metallic paint. You can get it in different finishes. This is a hammered finish, which I sprayed on in the gun. It's normally brush paint, and then went over the top of that with metal flake in lacquer, and I've still got to rub it down and then just apply a smooth top coat of lacquer. But I'm just so pleased with myself, and I don't know why. There's absolutely no reason for doing this. I expect the value of this bike has gone up from 50p to 75 pence. You know what I mean? But I can say now, I can say now that I've definitely got the most disco bike in the village. Would you look at the flake on that? It's hard that the camera doesn't like metal flake. Bloody lovely. God, I love metal flake. What's wrong with me? I've got some sort of deficiency in my diet. Colour-coded handlebars. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah. That is certainly sparkly. Anyway, yeah, I'm sorry, chaps. I'll try and get back on with something serious now. Yeah, we've got the frame, the bars, and the forks. Oh, these are nice. Yeah, you can see the sunlight coming through the door and just catching these right. Dazzling, dazzling. Yeah. All right. Okay. Take it easy, folks. See you later. Bye bye.